Clifton's fourth beach in the Cape has denied it closed the beach last Sunday. A group of picnickers, among them the ANC Provincial Secretary Faiz Jacobs, claim that they were told to leave the beach on Sunday as it closed at 8 p.m. The security company involved insists that the beach was closed by law enforcement officials due to alleged criminal elements, including the alleged illegal sale of liquor.
PPA Security has vehemently denied closing Clifton's fourth beach. The company says it was assisting law enforcement authorities following several incidents of alleged criminality. This follows reports by members of the public who claim private security officers told them to leave the beach as it closes at 8 p.m. The company says it has an unwritten agreement with the South African Police Service and law enforcement authorities to help curb crime.
They just went to people and said, listen, there is security and safety issues here. You guys are sitting in the area and it's dark. It was after 8, I believe. And you guys just need to be careful. Law enforcement previously closed the beach. So no one was told, you have to pack up and leave. We're closing the beach at 8 o'clock. That is not the case. So they were just reminding people that, listen, this is a dangerous area. Things do happen here. Just be careful. And the beach were closed by law enforcement previously because of safety reasons.
The City of Cape Town has, however, maintained that the company is not mandated to enforce bylaws and has not been acting under its authority.
They're a private security company. They cannot enforce any city bylaws. They do not have the right to give people instructions to leave the beach. They do not have a mandate from the city to do so. They're doing it without our consent or knowledge. It appears that they waited for law enforcement to leave the beaches in the evening and then started removing people from the beach.
The alleged incident has set tongues wagging on social media, with some accusing wealthy residents of trying to make the beach exclusive. Others have lamented alleged criminality at the beach. The security company says the matter is being taken out of context and is being politicized.
There's a lot of political motives and things happening behind the scenes. I don't want to get too much into that, but what's being said now, and I think no one want to touch on it, but I will, is the fact that it's a DA, ANC thing. They're saying that PPA is employed by the DA, which is not the case, and it's a white beach, etc., etc. However, the officers, they are currently with us here. It's officers of colour, and they merely reminded the beachgoers of the safety issues.
City officials have continuously denied that law enforcement officials closed the beach. It says it has written to the company informing them that they do not have the mandate to enforce city bylaws. The Camps Bay Ratepayers Association has distanced itself from the incident. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.
Now, there appears to be two groups organising protests about what happened on Sunday. Let's see if we can bring up a poster doing the rounds on social media. It calls for self-respecting blacks to reclaim Clifton Beach from white racists who think that the God-given beach is their exclusive reserve. Now, that protest is set down for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Another group organising a protest on Saturday from 5 p.m. onwards on the same Clifton 4th Beach. To discuss, we're joined by activists with the Black People National Crisis, Umani Makwele. Umani, thank you for joining us from Cape Town. Explain what you are planning to do, you and your organisation.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you and your viewers. Well, as the young people who are activists in South Africa, we have organised under the banner of Black People's National Crisis Committee to organize a mass action protesting against racism that is taking place in our country, in our city. And of course, we made a call to fellow South Africans and fellow compatriots to join us tomorrow when we show the visibility and existence of us as Black people in claiming our beaches, our land, our ocean. That has been exclusively kept for white people by white people in Clifton 4th Beach. And then we organize this as really a part of the reminder to the racist and particularly to the PPA, the security companies that is directly discriminating against Black people. As we were here this morning, we discovered that in every entry point of the Clifton Beach, there's one security at the end of the staircase when you go down the beachfront. And then when you look and ask them, they tell you that they were given instruction to look at the element of criminality, people who are suspicious, people whose behavior is not wanted, such as making noise and being rude and so on and so forth. And those people for us, it seems is that it's black people, and those are the black people who appear poor, who appear gangsters. That is what we've heard from the people of Camps Bay in Clifton Beach. And then for us, we see it as a racist profiling of black people in this country. And then it's not new. Louis Ngozi spoke about this kind of black profiling in his book, The Mating Birds. Now it's coming back again. And you remember in the past 10 years, there was this case of racists talking about beach. Yes.
Yes. I just want to know, do you buy the claim at all from PPA, this private security company, that they were going onto the beach to warn people for their own safety? They say that they didn't try to remove people through their lawyer. Do you buy that at all?
Not at all, not at all. Look, now they're having different stories. First, they said they're assisting the law enforcement of the city of Cape Town. When the city of Cape Town distanced themselves from this claim that is made by PPA, now they are saying they were there to make people aware about their safety. It's a lie. We were there in the morning. If you can go now, you would find that at every entry point, there's one security 24 hours. They are sitting there, they are guarding the beach. Again, against who? For who? The answer is clear, is that against black people, for white people. One of the residents there who owns the bungalow there, they have an organization called the Bungalows Association. Now, she told us that as the owners of Clifton Beach and the houses around it, they feel unsafe in the community. And therefore, they've hired this company to make sure that they profile black people and curb criminality. And we are saying this is a historical phenomenon, that black people have been always classified and profiled as criminals.
Can you clarify that? Is this a black homeowner who says that this is going on around her, or a white homeowner who says categorically that black people are being profiled? Can you just clarify what you're saying?
Well, in Clifton Beach, from 1st to 5th Beach, there is no black owner who owns any bungalow or any house. Therefore, it's a straightforward thing. It's a white person. And indeed, it was a white person who was talking to us. And indeed, by 8 o'clock, when we were doing press conference there, most of the people who were there were white people. There are white people who own that beach. Therefore, it was a white person who was reporting this to us.
So she said black people are being profiled. Did the white homeowner say black people are being profiled?
Yes, black people are being profiled by homeowners of Clifton Beach, as well as the security guards who are given instruction. And of course, the security guards are African people. We had to talk to them. They have to disclose to us and tell us indeed. That's what we've been briefed. The people that we are looking after are black people, are black men who look suspicious. When we press them as to how does a person look like when he's a criminal, they will tell you that he's wearing funny, has a bad attitude, he's rude, he's making noise. All those kind of setup of description about black people is in fact a classification of racial profiling of our people. As you know that from today onwards, our people will be going to these beaches. And of course, our people look the way they are because they are poor, because they are suffering. Now, you want to tell me that our grandparents, our parents, our brothers who will go to these beaches will be classified as criminals, notwithstanding that they have not done any criminality. There is no evidence of any criminality, just on the basis that they are black. That is why we are claiming our beaches and say, claim back the Clifton Beach. And of course, now we are calling for our ancestors to assist us. That is why tomorrow we'll be slaughtering a sheep there, so that we are really making this cleansing. To say, look, what have we done as black people to be really discriminated this way and to be insulted by our fellow counterparts, white people? That's why we're calling upon our ancestor Maganda and Ngele to help us to really cleanse our beaches of racist white people.
Okay, so you say there will be a ceremony, an animal sacrificed on the beach. Explain further what this protest will entail.
Well, the process will entail that we as the grandchildren of our forefathers who have fought the battles against white colonialism. But by way of doing that is use our spiritual culture, which is to speak to our parents, our ancestors, through slaughtering as part of cleansing. And of course, this is a prayer and a giving and a request to our people to say, here is the sheep that we are slaughtering. We want to speak to you, assist us, fight against racism. And of course, you know, when Ngele was escaping Robben Island, when he was arrested there for political reasons, he died on the ocean. And part of that, we have not seen Ngele ever since. Now we are calling upon him. We believe that Ngele's spirit is on the beachfront of Cape Town. And that's why we are making this sacrifice to our ancestor tomorrow. And upon, of course, calling upon our people to come in their numbers and be with us during this spiritual ceremony of calling upon our ancestors to assist us to really make a difference in our country. Because we believe that the government alone cannot be able to solve the ills of our country. As young people, as active citizens, we must be able to take responsibility about our lives and what is happening in this country. In order for us to build this country, we as young people and activists, we must be actively involved and get rid of racism together with our counterparts, white people, who can see this racism that is rooted in our city. You can see it through the ownership of properties. You can see it through who stays around our beaches. You can see it through the employment equity position that people are occupying. These are the things that we think that if you put them together, we fight against them, we will win this battle against racism.
Mani, I know a lot of people, black people, have told me they don't want to own property in Cape Town. And I think it's important to talk about the perceptions around the city as a whole. Even the mayoral committee member for safety and security, he's been saying there's a lot of complaints about security companies that stop people, which, by the way, is illegal, search them on the streets. Just tell us more about how this is a wider issue, you believe, and what experiences people are experiencing every day as black people in Cape Town.
Well, of course, Cape Town is a secular colonial city. The entry point of colonialism in our country is through the Cape of Good Hope, which is now Cape Town. And since then, Cape Town has been exclusively for white people. And white people have internalized this thing that this city belongs to them and only them. And our people, as you know, during the forceful removal of our people from District 6, from Newlands, from Kensington, moved to the periphery of our country, of our city, Mitchell's Plain, Khayelitsha, Hanover Park. And this is, of course, a historic systematic pattern that we've experienced as black people. And of course, in terms of the ownership patterns in the city are racially skewed. In terms of the ownership as well as the settlement in the city is racially skewed. Even the so-called developmental state and the city, you can tell that, in fact, the way in which our city is integrated and developed is developed on the racial grounds. That is why for us we are saying that the ownership itself, it speaks of racial tension in this country. Yeah. And for us, we take this as a political, historical question that we must be able to fight against. That is why we were fighting against the Rhodes statue, the Rhodes legacy. Hence, we said Rhodes must fall and fees must fall. It was part and parcel of this racially skewed demographic in our city. That's why we are saying reclaim the city. All this initiative that we are doing is part and parcel of really deal with this question of black people suffering and discrimination in our city.
We're running out of time. Just out of interest, a very quick question. Why are you not encouraging wealthy black South Africans to go and buy up a lot of property along their coastline? You're saying, and people often wonder why, it's only white owners along their coastline.
Well, I mean, anyone who understands the property chain, you will be told that there's what we call the green belt around properties. Essentially, that means that property agents and property developers, they deliberately exclude black people through raising the costs of these properties. Now, properties around Camps Bay, they're almost 10 million rand, just
so
one property.
Black South
Now,
Africans.
for us,
I'm talking about
for us,
wealthy
it's not about black South Africans going there and own property. For us, it's about our land, reclaim back our land, reclaim back our cities, reclaim back our beaches. It's really a political question. We will never succeed if we will then try to advocate for black people to go and buy property in Clifton. We will never. The only way we will succeed is to have a political consciousness that was built through Steve Biko's black consciousness and the ability to understand what is at stake here. And we are saying there's a question of historic economic question of black people being systematically discriminated against. That is why we are saying this is a political question that needs us to create awareness around it. It will never be solved through the economic liberties of individuals who will go and buy property in Clifton. Will never succeed.
All right, thank you. And that's fair enough. That was the activist with the Black People National Crisis Committee, Mani Makwele. They are organising that protest at Clifton 4 Beach from 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Now, EFF